welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. I've got some fun crafts for you today. What are you waiting for? Let's get started. I messed that up. I always say, so what are we waiting for? I've got to do it again. Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. I've got some fun crafts for you today. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Today we'll be working on farmhouse style spring dupes. Yep, more dupes. So let's get started with project number 1. Today's dupe, I found this is actually from Antique Farmhouse. It's 1 for $20. Let's make 3 for around $8. So I'm going to be using these cookie cutters. I got them at Walmart. It was just under $4 for 4 of them. They're really nice size, probably about 4 inches tall. I was going to spray paint them, but because I'm not a gold person, but I think I'm going to go with the gold on these ones. I'm using these wood pieces from Dollar Tree. I'm going to just cut them right in half. And then these other little pieces of wood I had as well, I'm going to cut them in half to make like a little double base. All right, so I've got them cut, of course. I've got them sanded and ready. And while they look beautiful like this, I am going to paint them because I want them to have kind of that rustic feel, you know, but it sure is like really hard to cover up that wood grain. It looks nice. But anyway, I'll just paint a little bit here. And then, of course, you know, the rest will be off camera. And I'm painting all sides, top and bottom, except for like the middle. In like that one piece you saw, and then on this little piece, the bottom, because I do want to wood glue them together. So I'm leaving plain wood so that I could glue plain wood to plain wood for better adhesion. Once the paint is dry, I'm just going to come in with 120 grit sandpaper and of course distress around all the edges and stuff so I can at least see a little bit of that pretty wood. I think the distressing of the wood a little bit goes really nice with kind of that newer gold tone of the cookie cutters. And I actually had some screws in my stash that matched, so it worked perfectly. I'm using my crocodile here, then I'm going to punch holes into the bottom of the cookie cutters. All right, and then I'm just taking a pencil and I'm going to mark where that hole is, of course. That way I can come in and just make like a little pilot hole. My wood's not glued down yet, but making a pilot hole down into both pieces of wood. And then, of course, I'll do that on each one of them, placing, you know, punching a hole and placing it where I want. Then, of course, marking it and drilling the little pilot hole. Perfect. One more to go. I only did 3 cookie cutters, as you can see. I may go in and do the 4th one later, but I just kind of wanted a set of 3. Everything looks good in a set of 3, right? All right, last little one here. We'll get that drilled. And then I'm going to come in and start with the wood glue and get these down. Now, don't think me weird, but I needed my holes to line up. So what better way than to use, can I form my words, to use those long upholstery needles so I could, you know, look through the side and stick it down into the hole to make sure that I have it centered. And then I'm going to clamp them together for just a few minutes. Just one simple clamp, you know, 10 minutes or so. While that's clamped and waiting, ready to go, I got these carrots from Dollar Tree, but they are, of course, very bright. So I've painted like 3 coats of a cream color paint on them. Just one, and cut the greenery off, and I'm going to use this greenery from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue that into the place of the old ugly bright greenery, and our carrot now looks a little bit better. And then I'm just taking some orange paint mixed with water. I'm going to do a little bit of splattering on a couple of sides just to give it something, since I kept it kind of a farmhouse neutral color. And I first started, now it's time to get the gold screws in. I started with the, you know, that thing. But it was a little bit too hard, so the other ones I'm going to go in just with, you know, a hand screwdriver and get those tightened in there. That worked easier because there's not much space in there. So believe it or not, the just regular screwdriver worked best. And I'll show you what these look like, of course, all of them screwed together, because you could elect just to leave them like they are. I mean, they were selling them like that at, you know, Farmhouse, Antique Farmhouse. I like them like that, but you know, I'm going to lindify them up a little bit, right? So I picked out these ribbons, beautiful ribbons. They're jelly ribbons from Dollar Tree. They're just very, not real sheer, a light sheer, but they're so soft. I love them. I've got to go back and get more, and I think they had like 5 colors. Some of these flowers from Dollar Tree, love them, because they're just tiny. And then some of these wood bunnies also from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to start by, you know, each one will be a little bit different, of course. Adding the greenery. I started with my Fabri-Tac glue, but taking too long to kind of set up because it takes about a minute, so I switched to my hot glue gun. And you all know that's hard for me to bring out the hot glue gun. Get the carrot down there just a little bit so that the cookie cutter can still be seen, but it has a little bit of decoration. Adding a bow here. Cute. And then on top, I decided to add just a tiny little burlap butterfly. You don't see it a whole lot, but I just thought it'd be cute, you know, like a butterfly on the back. That one will be done. Now we're going to move to the next one, which is the little chick. I'm going to bring in the little cute cream colored flowers with my glue gun helper on my finger. And then I'm going to add some tiny little eggs here. I got these on like a Garland from Walmart. And so I pulled off some of the tiny little eggs. Again, just adding a little bit of decor at the bottom so that you could see, you know, the silhouette of the cookie cutter. And then, of course, adding the bow in. And pushing my one cream egg back down because it's not quite in. There we go. That one's done. It's real pretty. I just think it adds a little something. And then we're going in for the last one using the same greenery that we used on the little carrot we painted. And then I'm adding the bow in first, because then I'm going to add some flowers kind of like right on top. Now the flowers I chose, I did it on purpose. The white goes with the white ribbon. The darker pink goes with the darker pink ribbon. And then this lighter pink, probably hard to see on camera, goes with the lighter pink. And then that way this ornament kind of ties all three ornaments in together. I know, I was kind of super smart about it. But it looks really cute. I love that they look expensive but dainty, but just a little bit, you know. And like I said, 3 of them for about $8 where they had 1 for $20. So super cute. That makes this project complete, or this dupe. What do you think? Mine's on the left. Theirs on the right. Let me know your thoughts. Which one do you like better? Let's move right on into project number 2. Now, I know we have all seen the fake chocolate bunny, but I wanted to take it up just a little bit of a notch, right? Just pump it up a little bit. And so this is the bunny I picked up at Walmart. I actually love it because all the lines and stuff around it and around the legs, all the seams you can see, cost about $8. It's going to be perfect for looking like a fake chocolate bunny. And then I found this at a thrift store. You know, looked like a little scallop cute basket. You could use any basket. All right, we'll paint that in a minute. I'm going to use this satin Rust-Oleum paint called Espresso, I think. I'm not one for satin or, you know, glossy or anything like that, but for, you know, this type of project, it worked perfectly. There's all sorts of shades of browns for, you know, chocolate shades you could use. I like this one the best. I just did really light coats, like a couple of light coats, let it dry for a few minutes, come back in for some more light coats versus heavy coats. All right, it kind of just did it better. And this is what it looks like. Again, look at the lines, and it made it perfect, like it was chocolate put together. All right, so let's work on the basket. I'm going to come in and just do a nice coat, kind of a, you know, a coat and a half. I didn't want to go 2 coats, but kind of like a coat and a half. Sorry if you can hear the wind blowing. We are having a really nice heavy-duty windstorm going on, if you can kind of hear the shh in the background, but I'm going to keep recording. Anyway, and then once this is dry, I'm going to go in and just distress it. But if you have, you know, like just a regular cute little basket or something like that you could use for this, this project could be simply all you have to do is paint a bunny. But, you know, I'm going to come in because I wanted to paint up, you know, a cute little wood basket. I'm using these DIY chalk paints in Apothecary and Petticoat. I already have eggs, but I'm going to just pump them up a little bit, kind of vamp up the color, kind of 4 big ones and then 3 little ones. And plus I wanted a little less splatter, but I wanted them to be a little bit more muted, but brighter colors, if you know what I mean, because these are chalk paints. So, you know, it kind of just brightens them up, but they still stay that nice kind of soft, chalky finish. And then I'll re-add some splatters. Nobody laugh at what I use to hold my egg while I splatter. I think it's pretty genius. 2 coats on each one, just kind of letting them air dry. All right. While those are going on, I'm going to use the same ribbon again we just used on the cookie cutters around the neck. It was pretty wide to go around the neck, so I actually am going to like fold it in half to go around, and then I'm going to just glue my bow right on top. I'm trying not to glue to the rabbit itself because any kind, glue or like that, it's just going to kind of melt that paint. I didn't put a sealant on it. If you're going to have your rabbit out in the open, you might want to seal, but I'm going to cover ours up so I didn't, worry about putting a sealer on it. So here's my ribbon folded in half. I still think it looks fine, glued to itself, not on the bunny. And then I'm going to glue down, especially using this Fabri-Tac glue, it would just melt that paint, and then glue down the bow on there. Perfectly cute. You could leave it like that. And here's my thing for doing the splatter on the eggs, because I need to splatter and be able to turn it and be able to tap my fan brush and splatter. It's funny looking, but I think it works. It's genius because it's kind of hard to hold it and then try to splatter, right, with the way I splatter. I'm going to do all my eggs this way. I'm just showing one. And now I'm bringing out some of the cellophane, again from Dollar Tree. I've got these really sticky foam tabs you can buy in the hardware section at Dollar Tree because I want to, of course, stick it down. There's on the bottom of the bunny, there's a little rubber pad, so that's where I stuck the foam dots to or whatever, but I want to make sure it stays stable and not try to tip over in our little wood basket. And I'm just going to use some brown shred. Again, this paper shred came from Dollar Tree. They didn't have any fun Easter colors, but that's okay because it's going to allow the bunny and the eggs and stuff to kind of, shine up. All right, so here's my eggs. I am gluing them down even though it's just on paper because I want to be able to glue them so that the eggs don't move and then, they flip over something and the little holes where the sticks were when I was painting them get seen. So that's why I'm just kind of adding a tiny bit of glue and then gluing them into position. And that's all I want to put in there because I really want the bunny to be seen, but I thought it could use a little bit of color to help kind of tie the bow in. And now I'm going to turn this around, so I can pull up my cellophane here. What I like to do is kind of grab it at the back, pinching it, and then kind of pinch the front to it and pulling the sides up at the same time, of course. I just do a little bit here because it takes me a bit. Get it where I want it. Pulling it up little by little. And what I'm trying to do when I ruffle it, I am going to use a zip tie. We'll cover that up because it's quick than trying to tie a bow one-handed. Is when I do the ruffles, I'll show you here in a minute, I try to keep the pleats as much away from the front as possible so you can really see the bunny. You don't just see these pleats of plastic wrap. And then the rest of the pleats are mostly on the back side. So I really tried to kind of pull on it so that the pleats would be a little more unpleated. Does that make sense? And then I'm just kind of gathering it up on the sides. I'm using a clear tape so that you don't see it. If you use those satin tapes, you're going to see the tape there. And now I'm taking some sheer ribbon from Dollar Tree, wrapping it a couple of times around the zip tie to hide it. I chose sheer ribbon because I didn't want anything that was really like in your face, but I thought it needed a ribbon. I was going to do crinkly ribbon like you do when you wrap something in cellophane, but I wanted the bunny to be kind of the first thing you see when you look at this. And then off camera, I took some spray adhesive and like a little Q-tip, and I used that to kind of crinkle the ribbon down the side of the cellophane. I started with a little test spot of glue and you could see like the glue through the shears. So the spray adhesive worked best. So that makes this project complete. Mine, of course, is on the left. I couldn't find anything all over Pinterest of a DIY in a basket like mine. So the comparison on the right really isn't much of a comparison, but what the heck, it's a chocolate bunny. Which one do you like best? Let's move on to our last project, number 3. For this project, this is our inspiration. We're going to make a cute carrot garland. I almost slightly sort of remember this might be from Antique Farmhouse as well. So these are the things I'm going to bring in. I got this at a thrift store. It's got like 10 of them in it. The little banner pieces are already made for me. I'm just going to use 5 though. That way I have 5 for another little cute garland. I'm going to use this as like a placemat picked up at a thrift store. Give us a little texture. These are dinner napkins, again at a thrift store. I love the orange color. I'm going to bring in some batting as well. Optional. And then some of this ribbon that I got at Walmart like last year. Now I did make a free printable for you. I printed it onto some fabric. If you'll remember, this is the fabric I used in one of the last projects. That's why these are on here. But I'm just going to cut these up individually for our carrots on our garland. Link to my blog in the description box if you want to print that up. And I just printed it onto fabric. All right, and there'll be a link there to a video too if you want to watch a quick video on how you can print onto fabric using your inkjet or laser printer. Now, if you don't have any garland already made pieces, you can use this burlap material from Dollar Tree. And if you want to stiffen it a little bit more, any kind of stiffener, but I love this Beacon stiffen stuff. It is awesome. I ordered it online. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just cutting, they're probably about a 3 by 5 pieces to fit the front of my banners to put my carrots on, so it gives it a little bit of a background. It'll kind of look like this, as you can see. And then I'm just, some of them were already frayed, but some of them I'm taking, you know, the tops of the fabrics off and kind of giving it a little bit of fray edge at the top, and then just cutting out the last few. Only need 5. All right, and then my batting, I just stuck a couple pieces together. I'm going to layer my dinner napkin, fold it on top. I just free-handed a little carrot. And I'm doing 2 pieces of batting and folded my dinner napkin so that I could cut out 2 carrots at once. That's the only reason I did it like that. But yeah, this color orange is just beautiful. I originally got this orange for fall time, of course, to make cute little pumpkins. But then when I saw the carrot banner, I'm like, cute color for carrots. All right, cutting out the last one here, although it'll give me 6 carrots and I only need 5, but there you go. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to place the carrots on like this just so you can see what it's going to look like. You do not have to have a backing. I just thought it would kind of pull the carrots up off of that banner piece. And then I'm going to start cutting my ribbon about 5 inches in length. I'm going to cut 5 of them, of course. Right, one more. And we're going to use this for our carrot top. Now, I know it's really wide ribbon. I started to cut this and I thought, oh, I need to let you know how wide the ribbon is. And it's about 2.5 inches wide. And what I'm going to do is cut it into 3 strips of about 3/4 inches. And this is how we're going to, you know, make our carrot top. It's going to be really cute. I'm leaving the wire in because it is wire edge ribbon. And it is stiff enough it's going to hold its shape. And so, of course, you're going to have 3 for each carrot. Now you can glue this, of course, or sew it. If you're a gluer and you put a backing on, glue that down. If you use batting, glue that to your carrot, or just glue your carrot down. But when you do, only glue like the bottom half of the carrot. Leave the top half open because we want to slide our greenery in there. And all I'm doing, see, I'm just folding each piece in half. I'm going to kind of overlap the 2 edge pieces, fold the middle one in just like that. Just make a cute little bouquet. And then if you're a gluer, just glue all that together. And then the top half you left open, then you can glue it all down with your carrot top right in the center like that. Perfectly cute. If you're a sewer, you know, there's 2 options. You can either do this so that your sewing's not seen on the back. You go sew around this. Then you can add your carrot top, sew across, add your carrots, sew, and then glue it down. That's what I'm going to do to keep my back all nice and clean. But if you're not worried about that, you know, on the back side, you don't care if your sewing is seen or anything like that. You can just sew that down right onto it. Same process, sew across the top of your carrot top a little bit, and then sew your carrot in. You'll just see that little bit on the back, but that's okay. Do how you want to do it, right? All right, and I'm going to go ahead. I decided you don't really see it a whole lot, but I'm going to just sew around each little carrot top here. I need to stop calling it a carrot top because then I say carrot top and then carrot, and it's too many carrots in a row. And now I'm just sewing all my little pieces here. Yeah, the thread I use is kind of a darker brown. It's real subtle, but, you know, I sewed it, but you don't have to sew it. But if you like to add these little details, definitely you can sew on it. Sewing around my kind of little background piece here. Perfect. And then I'll add my carrot tops. I'll do it, you know, keeping the wire on both ends so that dark green is along both edges and then the one in the center, depending on which ribbon you use. And then I'm just going to sew right across it. I go about 3 times. I kind of go forward and back stitch and then forward again. And I think that's plenty to hold this in. And then, of course, adding my carrot right over the top and then just sewing about a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. A little bit of that batting, you know, is going to see, you know, peeking out around the edges of the carrot, stuff like that, especially because the dinner napkin moves a little bit. But that's okay. I like it. I think it gives us something. And here's what that's going to look like. And we're going to do all 5 this way. All right, so here they are all completed, looking super, super cute, I think. And this is just so quick and easy. Now what I'm going to do is cut my words apart here. And the printable has it with that space between it if you want to do it this way. Just cutting into little strips so it just looks like little, you know, signs across each of the carrots. And of course says farm fresh carrots for sale, 25 cents each. All right, if you're a gluer and you use batting, you can glue it together, or whether or not you use batting, and then you can glue it onto your carrot. All right, just like that. I'm going to sew around each of them, of course. I did that off camera, and now I'm just going to go ahead and get these into position. Not that you cared, but to the left, they're kind of slanted, you know, the left side down. The middle is straight, and to the right, they're slanted with the right side down because I'm just that way. There's no excuse for it. All right, going ahead and getting these glued down. Super cute. I think it adds a lot of detail. And then, of course, we want to glue our whole little carrot ensemble to our banner pieces. Last one. I think it's the carrot top that just does it for me. And now I'm making little bows just out of some Dollar Tree twine, just tiny little bows we're going to add to the top of our carrot at the bottom of the greenery, of course. And then I have 5 little wooden buttons here. They're all a little bit different. And I just added some thin twine through the holes of the wooden buttons on all of them. Cut off the excess on the back side. And then, of course, we'll just start gluing the bow right into position. Like this. These are optional, of course, but I think it adds a little something more. And then, of course, gluing the button to the middle of the bow. What a windstorm we are having today. No rain, just high mile-an-hour winds. That's what happens when you live on the coast. All right, these are all done. Now I'm going to take, this is thick twine I get at Walmart, and then some beads I picked up last year at Hobby Lobby. $5.99, these great big beads, and then they were 40% off. And what I'm going to do is feed 2 beads and then a banner piece, 2 beads and then the banner piece, and so on all the way across. And I'm going to feed the twine through from the back to the front. It's probably easier to look at of each of the banner pieces because I want that little bit of twine to be seen on the front of the banner. So like this instead of the other way around, right? Understandable? And then when I space these, I'm not going to space it yet, but when I space these, I'm going to try and space it so there's about 2.5 inches. That's just kind of my go-to between banner pieces. But I'm not going to do it yet till I get the last of the beads on because I am going to put beads, you know, before and after each beginning and ending banner. Get the beads on here. And then I'm going to measure out about 11 inches of twine. All right? And then the end of that twine's going to meet at that 11-inch mark, and then I'm going to tie just a little knot to have a little loop. And I'll do the same thing on the other side because I want my loops to be the same size. So now I'm going to start measuring it from the knot to the first banner piece, 2.5 inches. And then, of course, move my beads, next banner piece. So between the two, 2.5 inches. And I'm going to do that, of course, all the way across. So when I get to the last one, I'll measure 2.5 inches here. And then from that mark, perfect, I'm going to measure out 11 inches on my ruler, again, because I like my loops to be the same size. Again, that's just the way I am. And then, of course, I'll make my little knot. I will check with the other side to make sure it's the same size. I think this is cute. It's really quick and easy, especially if you just want to glue it together. And with 5, I mean, they'll be cute to hang anywhere. Look at that, same size. That makes this project complete. Let's take a look at the comparison. Mine's at the top. The other one's at the bottom. Which one do you like best? So So I hope you enjoyed all of these projects today. I love doing dupes because I just love that inspiration and just try to take it up a notch or two. Leave me a comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite. Please give this video a thumbs up. And if you walked in here for the first time, you're just checking things out, you're digging what you saw, make sure before you click off, you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on another project from me. Now, before I go, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. Have the heart of a champion and be fearless and courageous. Jesus has gone down and defeated the enemy, so don't let the enemy get back up and keep circling you, waiting for an opportunity to keep you down, keep you scared, keep you worried, or keep you thinking you won't be healed. Get your armor on. Get your focus on that defeated enemy. Grab your slingshot, take aim, and fire away. Because remember, God is that rock, and that giant will go down. The enemy has nothing that can take you down unless you give him some kind of access. He will try and curse you, call you names, wound your heart, but guard your thoughts. Keep your mind and focus on God, who is your champion. Have a ferocious faith and fire the presence of God at the enemy. You see, the enemy must flee at the very name of Jesus. The enemy does not stand a chance in the name of the Lord. The enemy does not determine your outcome. You are strong in the power of the Lord. So stand your ground and stand up in the name of Jesus. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. God is your strength. God is your shield. God fights for you. God is your solid rock. The triumph is yours. The healing is yours. Walk in victory with Jesus. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.